Remember, like, back when you got your first smartphone, like, it was this crazy new gadget, and now it's like, can't live without it, right?
Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder what's coming next.
Yeah.
Well, get ready, because today we're diving deep into how fast AI is going from, the future to, like, everyday life.
Right.
And let me tell you something, the speed is seriously mind-blowing.
Yeah. And what we're looking at today isn't just, some casual observations. It's like hardcore data.
Exactly.
We're talking a nationwide survey, the same kind they use to track, like, the whole country's economy.
The big important stuff.
Exactly.
And this research paper we're looking at, the rapid adoption of generative AI, dropped a total bombshell.
Definitely.
Researchers Bick, Blandin, and Deming found that 39.4% of U.S. adults from 18 to 64 years old have already used generative AI.
Wow.
And get this was back in August.
Oh, wow.
Just 2 years after ChatGPT came out.
Yeah, that's really something when you compare it to, like, how long it took personal computers to catch on, or even the internet. We're talking years, even decades, to get to that level of use.
Wow.
And this research team, they went deep. They looked at old data from the Census Bureau and even the International Telecommunication Union to kind of map out how tech usually spreads.
Yeah.
The speed at which people are adopting AI is really something else.
Totally. And it's even wilder when you think about AI at work. I mean, remember those clunky old PCs?
Oh, yeah.
Like stuck in some office, right?
Right.
Well, this research suggests AI is spreading faster in workplaces than those old PCs ever did.
Yeah, it's a fascinating comparison because back in the 80s, having a PC at home was, like, unheard of.
Oh, totally.
They were expensive and clunky, but AI, like generative AI, you can use it anywhere on your phone, your laptop, even your smart speaker.
Right.
That easy access changes everything.
So AI is taking off incredibly fast, but who's actually using it at work? I mean, most people probably think Silicon Valley tech geniuses when they hear AI in the workplace, right?
Yeah, it's like the classic image, right? But the reality is way more interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
Correct. So this paper breaks it down by actual jobs, and it's pretty eye-opening.
All right, so what kind of jobs are we talking about here?
Well, as you might guess, you see a lot of use in management, finance, computer science.
Makes sense.
Those fields are already data heavy and always looking for an edge.
Yeah.
They're clocking in at over 40% adoption.
So the techies are definitely on board. No surprise there.
Right.
But what about, like, everybody else?
That's where it gets really cool.
Okay.
The research shows that almost 25% of blue-collar workers are using AI too.
Wait a minute. Blue-collar workers? That's not who I pictured at all.
Right.
We're talking construction, manufacturing, transportation, like industries you don't usually think of as being on the cutting edge.
Exactly. And it just goes to show, AI is becoming part of the workforce everywhere, not just in certain fields.
Yeah.
And this isn't some far off thing. It's happening right now.
That's wild. So what are they even using AI for in those kinds of jobs? I mean, it's not like they're all coding away on the factory floor or something.
Yeah, good point. It's a great question, and it really speaks to how adaptable this tech is.
Okay.
The researchers dug into this, and figure 6 of the paper actually lists some of the top ways people are using it.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah.
What are the most popular uses for AI at work today?
The top 3 are pretty much universal. Writing administrative tasks and then interpreting or summarizing data.
Okay.
But here's the thing. 8 out of the 10 tasks they asked about got high marks for helpfulness from a lot of the people they surveyed. And those tasks ranged from, like, actual coding to customer service.
Wow. So it's like AI isn't just about replacing one specific type of job. It's actually changing the way we work in all sorts of professions.
Totally. It's not as simple as just jobs disappearing. It's about what we can do with AI and how that changes the nature of work itself.
Right. And speaking of big changes, this paper also looks at how this rapid adoption of AI is impacting the economy.
Yeah.
And there are some pretty bold predictions in there about productivity.
It's definitely where things get really interesting.
So tell me about these economic impacts, because this paper suggests AI could be like a total game changer for productivity.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. The researchers looked at the rate of AI adoption and also, how much time people are actually spending using it at work.
Right.
And their calculations suggest that right now, AI could already be boosting U.S. labor productivity by up to 0.875%.
Okay, now I don't have an economics degree, so break that down for me. Why is a number like that so significant?
Well, productivity is kind of a big deal in economics.
Right.
It's about doing more with less, essentially. Working smarter, not harder.
Right.
increased productivity usually translates to economic growth, and that could even mean, a better standard of living for people.
So even a small percentage increase could have a big ripple effect.
Exactly. Now, we do have to remember that these are just estimates based on the data we have so far. It's still early.
Yeah.
We can't say for sure what will happen long term, but it's definitely a trend worth keeping an eye on.
Absolutely. And it makes you think, if we're already seeing this kind of impact, with AI still being relatively new, what happens as it becomes even more common? It feels like we're on the verge of something huge.
Think back to the early days of the internet. We could kind of sense the potential.
Yeah.
But even then, it was hard to imagine how much it would change the world.
Exactly. It feels like we're at a similar turning point with AI now. And when you see those adoption curves for the internet and PCs, it really makes you wonder, where will we be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? This isn't science fiction anymore. This is happening right now.
And the most exciting thing is that we're not just watching it happen. We're all shaping the future of AI.
Right.
Whether we're early adopters who are already using it in our work or just starting to figure out what all the hype is about.
So to everyone listening, whether you're using AI to write a song, plan your grocery list, or just get your work done faster, this is a conversation that's just getting started. We encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep sharing your own experiences with AI.
Because this deep dive is really just the first step on a much bigger journey, and we'll be here to explore it with you every step of the way.